What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It says that 65% of you watching are not subscribed. So if you aren't, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps my channel out a lot, helps get these videos out to more people. Today, we're going to talk about a stock that recently IPO'd, another one of these stocks that recently IPO'd. We just did a video on DoorDash. Now we're going to talk about Airbnb, stock ticker symbol ABNB. This company IPO'd at $144 per share. Now it's sitting well over $200 a share at $206 per share. The market cap is sitting right around $120 to $125 billion. And this company has a lot of positives looking that you can see in the short term, because right now the pandemic decimated the travel industry, decimated airplanes, hotels, lodging. All of that was completely wrecked by the pandemic. Airlines and hotels saw their businesses fall 80 to 90% when lockdowns began a year ago. Airbnb's gross bookings were down about 40% year over year, and revenues were down 32% year over year. So all of these companies were struggling massively. Airbnb did fare better than the companies in the space. They didn't see 80 or 90% of their bookings and revenue drop. They saw 32 to 40% decrease. Still not good. But right now, we're at a key inflection point, a key turning point, where I think we're going to see a lot of rapid growth for Airbnb, the travel industry, the lodging industries in general. And I think Airbnb is actually going to be the leader in that space in terms of growth, because right now, when people are going to travel, right now, a lot of people, according to research, about 9 out of 10 guests surveyed from Airbnb, they say that they intend to continue hosting at least as often as they were doing before the pandemic. And in another study, so people are still going to be hosting, still going to be having their places up and available. And according to another study, a majority of people prefer to stay in an Airbnb versus staying in a hotel, because then they don't have to interact with as many people, and it's safer. A lot of people perceive Airbnbs as cleaner and safer than hotels simply because they don't have to interact with the front desk, with all the people staying in the hotel, and you're not in a building with hundreds of other people. So that's why I think Airbnb is going to really see massive year of growth this year, next year, and the year after that as we start to see things open up. But a couple of things that Airbnb has done to really help out the business in the short term is during the pandemic, they reduced full-time employees by 25%. They cut out all discretionary expenses and substantially reduced capital expenditures. They really are trying to preserve the business when things were not going well. And that time, it was going to be the worst time ever that they'll probably ever see in the history of the business. The pandemic is going to be probably the worst time for travel businesses and, lodging businesses such as Airbnb. One thing to keep in mind with Airbnb, which I really like about them, is that, like I said, 9 out of 10 hosts say they're still going to want to host people, because a lot of these people like generating revenue. They use that as a sort of a business. They buy out properties, they rent them out, or have Airbnbs from them. So a lot of people are still going to continue to do that. Good news is active listings for Airbnb throughout the entire pandemic stayed pretty stable. They only decreased 2% from 5.7 million to 5.6 million. So really, they basically stayed the same, even though people weren't able to travel, which is another good sign. In addition to this, in 2020, in the first 9 months during the pandemic, when things were not looking good at all, they got 14 million new active bookers on the app. 14 million new people signed up for the app, were looking at places, and that is also really great news. I don't know if it's because people were looking long-term, looking to book things a couple years out, or if they were just looking short-term. Whatever it is, these people were flocking towards Airbnb and getting their own places versus going to hotels. And lastly, Airbnb has a really, really large market opportunity. The total addressable market for this is $3.4 trillion. And in terms of short-term stays, it's $1.8 trillion market, $210 billion for long-term stays, and $1.4 trillion for experiences. And Airbnb is in all of those. They're in short-term, long-term, and experiences. In addition to this, Airbnb had 247 million guests in 2019, which accounted for only 3.8% of the estimated 6.5 billion paid overnight trips this year. So out of 6.5 billion trips this year, they only accounted for about 3.8% of that. And that's actually really good news, because that means they have a lot of room to grow. They have a lot more space to grow. And even though their market cap is fairly high at about $120 billion, they're in a market that is just about to explode, because people are going to be wanting to travel, wanting to have new experiences after being locked inside for so long. And because of that, I think Airbnb has positioned themselves as a company that's going to capture a lot of new users, capture a lot of market share, and they're at just the edge before things start tipping over and people start really traveling again. Airlines said that they recorded their highest day ever in terms of total people traveling just this past week, and that's going to lead to more bookings, more revenue for Airbnb as well. So I'm pretty bullish on Airbnb, even though it has a high valuation long term. I see them continuing to grow, and I think they're going to continue to innovate. We may see Airbnb sort of buildings and hotels, even though they're working on having people stay at other people's houses. I think we're going to see them expand into a lot of other spaces that they aren't in right now. So let me know what you guys think of Airbnb, stock ticker symbol ABNB. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to get 4 free stocks when you download the Webull investing app. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.